Okay, so we have here pretty much the completed boiler. See, we have enough light here. Switch on. That's a beautiful sound, isn't it? So I got the VXT lit up. This is the card that comes with it. I think these numbers here are a little bit high. If I were seeing these numbers, I would be looking for a leak. But when you make a record, you want to make sure, especially after you reset the VXT, that you want to record so you watch the trends. It's going to be very important for boiler life. Didn't point out the other day, I switched out that steel plug for this brass plug, and when we fired it to test it, it started to leak. I figured I didn't need Teflon tape, but I guess I did, so I put the Teflon tape in there to hopefully that'll stop dripping. You can see a little wet spot there. That was dripping. To point out again, I want to say about the U.S. boiler is they always insist on these high quality sight glass fittings. These are brass, which are nice because if this leaks, the steel guards will rust and fail. So they use these nice brass ones here, which give really nice long life. You see the water level bouncing around. You can see the start of the schmutz coming through. This is the sight glass blow down valve. You should be doing this. I've got a bucket here. I've got a hose on there. See, I got, look at that. Oh boy, yeah, that's bouncing around like crazy. There's bubbles there. That's probably from detergents and the oils that they use to machine this thing. So customer is gonna drain this boiler tomorrow when it cools. Got the drain hooked up right there, so all he has to do is drain and refill. We got a half a pound on there already. I'm going to turn this thing off. I've already overheated his house. This thing shuts off at about 1.5 pounds, and we turn this pressure up a little bit. This thing is operating beautifully. So nice. There's a little bit of humming from this transformer. That's one of their little things. I want to point out that Frank has wired this bad boy. This is where the service switch was. It's a little out of the way and difficult to reach, so we moved it down to here. And we also brought in 3-wire from the box, the junction box up there, so we can add a relay to power a thermostat. Run a 3-wire thermostat so we can power up a thermostat, particularly if people would like Wi-Fi. We got that option. We've got the hardware in for the water lines, so these are nice and rigid. Thanks, Rob. You did a great job in putting this thing in. If you're listening, that's really nice. Really nice. Nice work. Yep, finally got the drip line in. Got a quick disconnect here, so all you have to do is get a wrench and this thing can come out and you can service it. Costs a little bit more, but you know, always make it easier for the next guy. Got our honey dip here for going down into the valve with a wet vac if necessary to suck out the water for cleaning. I'll probably be back here in about a week or so and open that boy up and get some goo out. Now, last time I didn't mention it, but those of you that like to use chemicals for cleaning, with this cap, it's much easier to add those chemicals, your favorite libation or whatever. It's not recommended, and whatever the package says on there, I'd recommend using only a small portion of it. It's better to use too little than to use too much, because once that stuff gets in the system, it's a bear to get out. A lot of times, once you drain it, you at least get rid of the detergents. Let's see, got drip line detergent. And let's see. Oh, yeah. The cycle guard. The good folks at Hydro Level informed me that they have been informed by the boiler manufacturers that are using the cycle guard, or cycle guard as I jokingly refer to it as. The boiler manufacturers have noticed a significant drop in claims for dry firing. So, as much as I hate to admit it, it seems like it's doing its job. And the truth is the truth. So that is on there. So I wanted to show you see if we can get a good focus on that. This is information on the water quality that comes with the boiler. It's pretty complete and it should be read and understood. And this is about skimming the boiler to get the lighter than water oils off. And that's just a harbinger of things to come. One thing I've noticed about the U.S. boiler is they like to supply these drain valves. Never really liked them because they're really a half-inch drain valve. Yeah, it's quarter turn, which is good, but it's really a half-inch drain valve with basically a 3/4 inch bushing on the end. And you can see the color is definitely different. These actually have a fair amount of copper in them. That's what you want for strength. This has a lot of zinc in it, which is cheap and weak. I have, on some occasions, if you put a wrench on this portion that my fingers are on, I've had this thing crack. And so I've never really, ever since that, I've really not liked it. Although it comes with the boiler, I like putting these are true 3/4 inch. And that's a fake. So this is the one you want to try to put on when you can. Quarter turn, you get a better throughput. Best of all, of course, is the valve that I put on the wet return that you saw. That's full port. So everything is working as it should. All the radiators are getting hot. Most of the water is returning. Still has a little bit of lingering concern with the wet return. But the VXT is on guard and will alert us to any leaks that occur. So perhaps we'll all be back and show you how this gets skimmed.